Good morning, everyone. This is Judith A. Cope. You're listening to Mad Love. Let's get into it. So, I'm really struggling. I don't have a lot to talk about today. I had a super busy week last week. It was just a couple of big things just kind of collided all at the same time. The probate case, having to fire a bad firm, get my money back, to hire a good firm, spend a lot more money, but they were very professional. They are very professional and already making progress in like 2 days versus no progress in 3 weeks with this other place, which was unbelievable. Super unprofessional, very offensive to me that they would take my money and then just do nothing. But I did get my refund check over the weekend, so I'm thankful about that. Um, that's another thing you're gonna have to look out for when you have to hire an attorney to do these things. It would be best to look for a firm that only does probate. You're gonna pay; it's gonna be expensive, but they understand the process, they understand the court system, and they're not gonna BS you. You know, they manage expectations from the start, and yeah, much better situation. So that's another thing. You know, you want to avoid it. If you see on your checking account a place to put beneficiaries, do that. I'm not saying the person has to be on your checking account, but you definitely want to put a beneficiary there if you can. Um, if that had been done, I wouldn't have to hire an attorney in the first place for these accounts that I'm trying to manage and control. So there's that. Also, I want to stress and emphasize if you have a health concern, as somebody who's been pretty much, you know, not great for the last 8 weeks, um, and I thought it was one thing, but it turned out to be something else. And, like I'm feeling better. It takes time to heal, um, especially as you get older, like I am. You're menopausal. These things are also going through the menopause filter. Um, it's a lot, and I would stress to anybody without hesitation, your number one priority has to always be your health. There's no making money, there's no living your life, there's no travel, there's no work, there's no nothing if you're not healthy. And I have had that lesson reinforced all spring and summer, you know. And this is actually not all that shocking that I would break down because, you know, I've had a pretty shitty and intense last couple of years. Um, I'm not a complainer, so I didn't complain about it, but it took its toll, and it'll take its toll on you if you have to take care of somebody 24/7 and then follow that up with another person going into hospice and taking care of them or overseeing their affairs. It's stressful. All of it's stressful. There's no handbook for it. There's no course book for it. You just have to do it. Members of Responsible members of the family wind up with these responsibilities. I have a friend whose mom passed away. She's like one of five siblings, but she's the only one that you know can do all of this stuff and get her mom's affairs in order. But unfortunately for her, her mom did not want to talk about anything before she passed away. So probate is going to be really challenging because she owned a house, um, multiple checking accounts, retirement accounts, uh, life insurance accounts. Those things somebody has to step in and organize, and it's always just a pain in the ass. There's no other way to look at it, you know. And her siblings aren't very helpful, so it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But, the best thing you can do is just put your head down, try to get it done, try to be a good a steward of the process as you can. But yeah, if you can avoid probate court, you really should do everything in your power to do that, for sure. Um, So, yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. Life seems utterly chaotic right now. War is apparently just the only way America has decided to keep its economy flowing. Um, they told us the war was over, then now it's back. Who knows what's going on? No one believes Mitch McConnell is alive. Lindsey Graham died suddenly. What does that do to the Senate? There's just so much craziness going on. You got all these super old politicians, and it's like, man, we're really letting our country be run by these crazy old people, and you know, that's what it looks like. Trump looks like he is circling the drain. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him, but the bloating and the he just looks bad. And I'm not just saying that, but I mean, this is a person that eats a lot of McDonald's, and he's not exactly health conscious, and he doesn't look good. I don't know what's going to happen to him. But, history will remember this as a very, very odd time. And I guess at the end of the day, we all just have to decide, how we feel about it and what side of history we want to be on, you know. Um, but this is definitely a chaotic and weird and strange time. People don't seem to have as many morals as they used to. I don't trust any politician. The news media doesn't tell you the truth. Nobody does investigative journalism anymore. Um, it's a weird time. And everything that we have held, even if they were fake, everything that we have held as American values are just not intact anymore. And it's a weird time. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It feels very strange. Um, I'm not without hope, but I am really wondering, how this is all going to play out. I was watching First 48, which is one of my favorite shows. I worked in criminal justice. I believe in justice. I like a good mystery. But one thing I was thinking is, if there was really a concerted effort to get rid of these guns, it would happen. If there was a concerted effort to really get rid of the drugs, it would happen. Because now people are dying over weed deals. Weed used to be the calm drug. Now people are just like, well, I gotta just kill this dude and take his weed. Like, it's crazy what's happening. And I know that if someone wanted to end it, they could, you know, but I feel like this is all by design. And I've said that all summer, certainly. I know I've said it before. It's like this is all by design because a certain amount of chaos is how people keep tabs on us. They control us. There's a certain amount of brainwashing going on. There's a certain amount of, you know, I can control a population if I can uh, make them always be afraid that, you're not that safe. It's like you're safe, but you're not that safe because some lunatic could break into your house and rob you. But why is that lunatic even created? What kind of environment do you have to keep so this person, you know, develops into some sort of monster? And there's no reason really why all school systems can't be the same. There's no reason why everybody can't get a great education. There's no reason why some people have to become criminals and some people don't, other than I think that's what they've wanted, because that's how you keep population control. It's very Darwinian. And maybe Darwin wasn't right. Like, maybe it wasn't supposed to be that way. And then you've got all these people who practice eugenics, which is basically creating the perfect race and all that kind of stuff. So they can focus on doing that. And you know it's true because it's in the Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein is no fucking genius. And he's out there having these super crazy conversations about, how to create the master race and how to, you know, basically farm and mill children, um, you know, in very scary, casual ways. This dude had his hands in tons of stuff. And then on top of that, there's the child sex abuse material he was creating. And, the satanic worshiping of, well, the Satan worshiping and the eating of the children. And all that stuff is in these emails. And I don't think people are upset enough about it. And then Trump lied and said he was going to release them. Then he changed his mind. And what was that all about? And now people are openly booing him. Now people are finally like, yeah, you didn't do anything you said you were going to do. I mean, he has probably had the biggest open betrayal of voters that you can't deny, maybe in history. Uh, you know what I mean? Like, certainly people got finished with Obama and was like, dude, that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But Trump just was like, you know what? I'm just going to go do anything I said. Good luck. He really openly betrayed his base. And I don't even know why people believed him in the first place. That's what's really strange. So, yeah, this is, like I said, this is the craziest time in history that I can recall. And I've seen quite a bit of history. It's weird. So, yeah, I don't know. But I am not without faith and I'm not without hope. We just got to get through this very wonky, weird chapter. And like I said, I hope we get delivered from all the evil because there's so much of it out here. And it would just be nice to wake up and not have to worry about all the stuff we worry about. Where people just have enough. Because there's more than enough. All of this is just psychology. It's a psyop. There's more than enough money. There's more than enough food. We have more than enough everything. But we also have more than enough corruption, more than enough terrible chemicals in our food, more than enough evil people trying to control us. So, yeah, if we get rid of that, we should start racking up some more W's. Because we're down bad with the L's right now. Because people are really, really at their wits' end. And I think it's on purpose. And it'd just be nice. It would be nice to be here on planet Earth, which is a challenging environment on its own. And just to be here and just have it be a peaceful time. And I pray for that in my lifetime. Yeah? That's all I got for you. It's Monday, July 20th. Mercury retrograde is almost over, and thank God for that. Take care of yourselves. Be well, be safe. Use your discernment, and we'll talk soon.